Man, for this particular conjunction, I had to wear glasses. It's too intense. That's why. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be covering our conjunction of Sun, Moon, Saturn, Rahu. Ow! Just trying to make it all nice and dramatic, even though it isn't. So yeah, we're going to do this conjunction today. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this conjunction, where it's placed, all your astrological details, all my books, astrology, mahadashas, conjunction aspects at the speed of light, including all my consultations. For this, check out the links here. So you can get all your report and see where exactly each planet is. So, Sun, Moon, Saturn, Rahu conjunction. Oh man. This definitely shows a very tough childhood for you. Because see, Sun, as you know, it represents authority, ego, fatherly figure, government. Saturn represents duty, sacrifice, commitment, discipline, structure, organization. You know, it's your working class people. It's being conservative, orthodox, critical, opinionated. And then you have Rahu, that just is a karmic node and wants to bring in lessons in this life that you have to learn. And then you have to understand Moon is here. Moon is like the softest planet. I mean, Moon can't really influence anything. Moon gets influenced. You remember, if there's no sun, Moon is completely dark. If you can't even see it. Maybe you can see it with the light of some stars going behind the moon, but when Moon is completely dark, it's just you really have to look where the hell the Moon is. So Moon is always being influenced by planets. So in this 4 planetary conjunction, think of it as a 3 planetary conjunction being where Moon is, well, this is not the right finger to show, where Moon is being affected by all these 3 planets. And obviously Moon represents your mind, mother, happiness, comfort, you know, how you think. It represents your childhood. So obviously you have to understand that Sun and Moon are great enemies of Saturn and Rahu. So naturally the childhood of this person will be very tough mentally. Like they will be forced to do things that they will not like. Let's say their parent is amazing parents, okay? You have an amazing father, you have an amazing mother, but whatever they tell you, you do not want to listen to it because somehow you always find some fault in them. Maybe they do have faults, but even if they don't, you will find faults in them. Because remember, Saturn has this relationship with the sun that if you read the mythological story of Saturn and Chaya and how Yama, the brother, came about, all these stories, I don't want to go into it, but it just shows the animosity between Saturn and Sun. So naturally the mind is the one that always gets more stressed. If this person does not have the freedom, if they're put under rules, regulations, and disciplined structure, they will not function there properly. You can force them, they will function somehow. But they are very rebel. These people are rebel. I mean, if you have a child with this, just you're really gonna have to abide by what they want to learn, what they want to do, what they want to say. But it is always good to tame the malefic energy of Saturn and Rahu, because you want to really make the mind very powerful here. You want to make mind powerful enough to be disciplined, to be structured, to be organized, to learn about sacrifices. Now, depending upon the sign, it'll make things much easier or difficult for you as a person or your child to go through that hump, whether it's your spouse, whoever. Because you got to understand, if let's say this conjunction occurs in the sign of Aries, Sun becomes the most powerful. That means the teachings of the father will prevail over the person. Even though the person will not like it, they will somehow always be like, yeah, I gotta thank my father because he did teach me all this. if Saturn is overpowering this conjunction with Rahu, because it's conjunct with Rahu, then you will see Saturn and Rahu overpower Sun and Moon. Then perhaps your father was a very strong personality where he even hit you physically or didn't show you the right guidance. Because the father's ability to guide you was hidden. It was being overpowered by these two malefic planets. Saturn is not a malefic planet. It's not a bad planet. It doesn't want to really do bad for you. Rahu actually can give you mass fame and mass wealth. But when these two team up and they realize, holy smokes, the people that they are complete arch enemy with, they're in a vacation home with those two, Sun and Moon. So Saturn and Rahu are not pissed at you. They're pissed at these planets. And when they clash, who suffers? You as an individual is suffering in that clash. Obviously, career-wise, this person can go into can go into professions of drug dealing, can really try to escape their problems by doing drugs, by joining wrong people in their life, wrong influences upon their mind and personality. If, let's say, this conjunction occurs, where Saturn becomes strong, exalted in its own sign. So obviously Saturn, whenever this conjunction is occurring in a sign of a planet that rules the sign, they will always protect that. So you will see this person being a very strict person, and they're so strict that they come out as a dictator. But the thing is with Rahu is such an unpredictable planet that you can't really pinpoint, okay, this is who you are. You can say exactly what I'm saying, but that good and bad part, it'll be hidden. Even if they're like bad guys, they will not admit, I'm a bad guy. If they're good guys, they will not really come out and say, oh, I'm the good guy. They will try to portray the opposite image. They're like, I want you to think that I'm a bad guy, so you don't mess with me. Even though I have a heart of gold, only a few people know about it. In career-wise, like regular societal career, this person can do very well as a police detective, policeman, army, government-related work, because they need a big authority over them to really control them. Like they need that power of authority upon them that, okay, you are to follow this. You are to go ahead and do this. But the mind is very, very, early on in life can be very troubled. Like they can go through not only their phases of, being a rebel, but also they can go through even depression. They feel like there's no opportunity for me with the people that I'm surrounded by. This person may never find opportunity coming from their father or mother, and this definitely shows that father completely controls the mother. Your mother has no say within the family decisions. Father's overpowering, because remember, now there's two fathers. Son is a father naturally for everybody, but especially if you're born in nighttime, Saturn becomes the father as well. Saturn becomes a stronger indicator of the father. So now you have two fathers, two big power overpowering disciplined men going after this moon. And Rahu, which creates chaos, shows that your father can be in a way very abusive towards setting up rules for your mother. But also what the problem occurs early on is that it's very hard for you to make decisions on your own. Your decisions could be overpowered by an authority. You will always feel like, I'm not able to make decisions on my own. Why do I always get his permission? Why do I have to get your permission to make my decision? Because remember, Sun and Saturn are putting discipline structured, like follow duty, follow the path of, the higher and divine. But now Rahu is there. Rahu is saying, why do I have to follow that higher and divine? Why can't I follow that higher and divine? Because now a Deva is sitting with the Asura. Devas and Asuras are now together. They have to work together. So Deva says, look, you got to meditate. You got to pour milk on shivling. Rahu says, no. I'm going to build this motorcycle and I'm going to try to fly this motorcycle in the sky so I can be just as high as gods. That's what happens. So, if you want to describe this with one word, I can probably say a rebel. A rebel is born out of this, especially if this is in the ascendant. Like if this is in the ascendant, I would probably, if I'm a general and I saw somebody's horoscope, I'm like, man, you're the general for my section of the army, because they will be like, that's it. It's my command. So I would get that. But again, with nakshatras placement, sign placement. See, sign placement becomes very important. Easiest way to understand conjunction to see which planet is becoming much more strong in a sign. Is planet in a friendly sign, exalted sign, debilitated sign, it's friendship sign. So if let's say Sun is in the sign of Aries or Scorpio, it's in the sign of Mars. Sun will kind of have more control over Saturn and Rahu. If this occurs in Taurus or Libra, then Saturn will have more power. If this occurs in Taurus, Moon becomes exalted. So even though all these planets are overpowering Moon, the mind will be able to withstand all of these things. They may not be so much of a rebel. They will be able to think things through. You know what? Perhaps my father is trying to guide me to the right direction. Let me just take his suggestion. Let me be open-minded. So Moon becomes exalted. In the sign of Cancer though, there's going to be too much emotional damage upon the mind for it to deal with this Sun-Saturn fight and Rahu coming after it and then Sun burning the Moon. I mean, as much as Cancer is this is where you have to use logic. As much as Cancer is a sign of the Moon, you got to understand this is now where the emotions are very high. Emotions are very vulnerable. Like you're on this muddy ground where you can fall anytime if you don't balance yourself correctly. Use logic and then you will be able to understand anything and everything. Okay? So guys, this is my analysis of Sun, Moon, Saturn, Rahu conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your conjunction is, all your other astrological details, my books, reports, and consultations, for that, click here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow with my roundtable discussions of nakshatras. Bye-bye.